Yo, let's get it. What's rocking with my beautiful roses? It's your bro Will, the garden. And you all are now tuned into What Do You Have in Your Garden podcast. Episode number 2. I'm super excited for this episode, guys. Not just for this episode, but honestly, I'm excited. I'm grateful. Bro, I am just astonished by what God is doing in my life, despite the long suffering, despite the pain, despite the misunderstandings, despite even me giving up on faith. You know, God, grace kept me here. And when you go through something in your life that's so traumatic to where you literally like dig your own grave, right? And God, by his love, literally brings you out of that grave, you will really understand when the Bible tells us that he will never leave us nor forsake us. So literally, y'all, I'm just excited that the Brody is walking in purpose. You hear me? And this vision of What Do You Have in Your Garden podcast is really to cultivate change within a reflection. And the way I do that is by being super transparent. And I'm not ashamed anymore. I ain't gonna lie. I have to go through what I have to go through. Because I have the best confidence in the world. You hear what I'm saying? So I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited about what God is doing. Not just through me, but for me. Because I know that what God is doing, that's cultivating my vision and slowly prospering. I know that like my life, my story is going to help somebody out there. You hear me? So again, welcome to the garden. You hear me? Well, love is everything. Understanding is a must. And transparency is needed for those that need love. Thank y'all guys for tapping in. I know we're going to be sharing this thing crazy. We're going to have some short clips. It's going to go crazy. We are cultivating change within ourselves. You hear me? But before I start, I just have one announcement to make. Y'all ready? Here's the announcement. So, if you guys have been following me on Instagram for about 5 or 6 years, you guys will see that on my first book, I wore this shirt, right? On the back of the book, you guys will see I was wearing the shirt. It's kind of a little snubby now, kind of fit me tight now, but it's good. You know, still look good. You hear me? I'm just playing. Let me be humble. Let me be humble, y'all. Listen, I'm giving away this shirt, which is super monumental to me. And I'm also giving away my latest book, which is titled Garden Words Harvesting in the Summer. Now, if you guys would like to participate in winning this, all you got to do is this. Whichever post you make on IG, Instagram, whatever post you make, hashtag GOWHIS. Again, hashtag GOWIS. One more time, GOWIS. All right, that's what we're doing, y'all. I'll be giving this away the first week of July. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. You know what I'm saying? After we drop this podcast episode, I will be giving updates as we go. You hear me? So I'm super excited, y'all. We're about to tap into this awesome episode number 2. And one thing I do want to say though, because I want to be transparent with you all, is that like I'm the type of person to where anytime God like, and this is how I know that like what I'm doing is purposeful for me, and I know that what I'm doing is going to help somebody else out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just real talk, bro. Like, and I have to really understand that like self-confidence, like self-improvement, you know what I'm saying, is really important. And that doesn't come by just having a great year or having a great month or day, etc. You know what I'm saying? That comes by trials and tribulations, pain, suffering. You know what I'm saying? So like now I'm at a place in my life where like I'm okay if situations go bad or they go good. You know what I'm saying? Because I really understand that God is with me now. And not that he's with me, he's for me. You know what I'm saying? And if God is for me, who could be against me? You hear me? So listen, y'all, we're about to tap into this podcast, man. I'm super excited. And I do want, this is what I want you guys, this is what I want to let you guys know that. This podcast is really self-encouraging for myself. You know what I'm saying? As I'm giving out this seeds, you hear me? as we planting seeds, because we literally plant seeds together, if y'all don't know that. But now you do. But the seeds that God gives me is for me as well as for you. So as I'm conducting the podcast, the same thing that I'm distributing is the same thing that I'm planting within myself. You hear me? Oh man, we growing, baby. This is what growth is about. Come on, let's get it, baby. So let's tap in, baby. Listen up. This is how we rocking with it, man. What do you have in the garden? Listen, always be yourself. You don't gotta change for nobody. But I want to start off episode 2 with a quote. And the quote states this, that even the most beautiful rose needs time to blossom. Trust the process of your growth. When I seen this quote, it really touched my heart. And let me tell you why it touched my heart, y'all. It's because I believe that growth comes first. Growth. You know what? Understanding who you are comes first. But I guess that is through growth. Huh? Y'all hear me? But it blessed me because I had to understand that. Well, yeah, I understand that now because I went through a lot these past 3 years. But this quote, I just want to read the first line over again. Matter of fact, not even first line. Let me just read the whole quote again. Even the most beautiful rose needs time to blossom. Trust the process of your growth. You know, why rush success if we're not willing to grow through trials and tribulations? In spite of self-doubt, y'all, hear me out. Growth births success. And so that quote meant a lot to me just because literally what I've been through these past 3 years, you know what I'm saying, really constructed like my growth. And for me personally, I had to understand that like growth is always first. I'm not really focused on being successful because when we're growing daily, that is you being successful. You feel me? So I'm not looking for nothing too big, any of that right now, because I'm growing. And every day that I'm growing, I'm being successful. Y'all hear me? But you can only understand that. Hear me out? You can only understand you growing if you're self-reflecting. If you're self-reflecting, you're not going to be able to tell if you're growing or drowning. You hear me out? I hope y'all hear me that. That was a seed. Bloop, bloop. You hear me? So, man, that's why I want to start with that quote. That's a beautiful quote there. I hope that quote really impacted you as it impacted me. And so, let's tap in, baby. Let's tap in, man, into this awesome episode that I got for you all. That God got for us. You hear me? Man, it's dope, man. It's dope. So, if you guys tapped into the shorts of the last podcast that I was posting on social network, you guys have seen that I was posting about the garden, which means life, and seeds, that means people, traumas, and choices, decisions. You know what I'm saying? And then you guys heard me talk about growth a little bit, right? So what I want to do with episode 2, well, what God guided me to do. Yeah, you always pay homage. Hey, listen, you always got to pay homage to the Father. Y'all better not be tripping on here thinking y'all doing it. I had to tell my brother earlier, I said, bro, it's not on me, it's in me. You hear me? Real talk. So I want to start off with this, man. Last episode, we talked about the garden. I kind of touched bases on it, but I didn't really like get into depths with it. You hear me? But this episode, I really wanted to just talk about that just a little bit. You hear me? Just a little bit. And then also share my intake and give you guys a little quick testimony. You hear me? So, why does our garden matters, right? Like I said, garden represents life. So why does your life matter? And for me, it matters because I have to understand the value in who I am, and also to learn the traditions within myself. And if I can just break that down a little bit, let me do that, y'all. Let me do that. Let me break that down a little bit. How often do we self-reflect? Right? I want y'all to think about that. Like, how often do I self-reflect? And I hope you guys do it every day. But if not, then, you know what I'm saying? Think about that. How often do I self-reflect on my decisions, my choice making, my pridefulness, my attitude? You know what I'm saying? How I treat people, how I treat myself. Like ponder on that. You know what I'm saying? Really, not really ponder on it, but just think about it. I don't want y'all like ponder on it. My bad. I mean, if you have to, you have to. Because I had to ponder on mine. So let me just be real. Ponder on it if you have to. You hear me? But I had to understand that, you know, as growing up, not growing up. Let me say this: as growing to be 31 years old, right? I found out that a lot of traditions that I was taught as a kid does not fit my pedigree and my purpose. Did y'all understand what I just said? A lot of traditions that I was taught while I was young does not fit in my pedigree of my purpose. Which means I was taught some things by tradition that didn't even fit my purpose. How do I know that? Oh, testimony time. Let's get into it. Look, at times, you know, especially in the Black community, man, we are taught a lot of things, right? A lot of traditions are passed down from us, right? And at that time, as that time grows older, as children, right, we will manifest those traditions within ourselves, right? And then when we get older, when we become adults, right, those same traditions that we were taught is not effective anymore. But why is that? I'm gonna tell you why. I'm not gonna tell you why for you. I'm gonna tell you why for me. You hear me? Look, growing up, and I'm not just saying like for my family, I'm just saying in general. Growing up, right, I seen a lot of like unforgiveness. I seen a lot of hate. You know what I'm saying? I seen a lot of backstabbing. You hear me? I seen a lot of fakeness, if I may say, right? And all that did is manifest like wickedness. And that's not even the worst part though. The worst part is that those same things that I just mentioned is passed down from generation to generation to generation. So those same wicked traditions are passed down, right? Meaning that like there would never be a fulfillment. I told you I'm not. There will never be a unison in love, right? And so for me, growing up, seeing that, it bothered me, right? So I was always trying to be like come on, man, let's get this together. Nah, forgive that, forgive him, forgive her. Ooh, I was always like that, right? Until it started weighing on me. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Until it started weighing on me, right? But when my grandmother died, I want y'all to hear me out. When my grandmother died, yeah, I carried those traditions. Those same traditions I was taught, they was with me. I was mad, angry, unforgiving, damn near hateful, didn't care, isolated myself, don't call me, don't talk to me. You feel me? I was on that because I was broken, I was hurt. That was a real, my grandma passing was a real reality check for me. You know what I'm saying? And I have to understand, like, as overcoming that by the grace of God, I have to understand that those traditions is not me. You know what I'm saying? Those traditions, those behaviors that I witnessed, and like I said, not just with my family, just in general, my neighborhood. You hear me? through other people, I knew that it wasn't me. And so I had to check myself. You know, Will, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to be selfish? Or are you trying to cultivate change in your generation and the younger generation? Like, I had to ask myself that because I was at the point where I didn't care. I didn't care about changing nothing. F it. We all gonna die anyway. You feel me? That was my mindset. You hear me? But God had to remind me that He installed a purpose inside me. And my purpose may not be your purpose. You feel what I'm saying? But it's important to understand, like, we are purposeful beings. And that's why we have to unlearn traditions. Because when we unlearn traditions, we can really find ourselves. You feel me? And I say that to say, like, a lot of people don't know who they are. They think they do. They think they do, right? Like, a lot of people can't even self-reflect. You hear me? A lot of people can't, like, really check themselves on when they being wicked. A lot of people can't check themselves when they're being jealous, or when they're envying, or when they're being hateful, or despiteful. A lot of people can't check themselves. They're just going to operate in it. Oh, that's a bad tradition, bro. And let me tell you why. When you can't check yourself, you're neglecting yourself. And if you neglect yourself, I mean, bro, you can't impact nothing. Bro, listen, if you're the type of person that self-neglect yourself, I don't care if you got $1 million in your bank. Bro, that $1 million is still worth. That if you're the person, excuse me, I got this, watch this, y'all. If you a person that self-neglect themselves, I don't care if you got $1 million in your bank. That $1 million is the same worth as a penny. You feel me? Because it can't be on us. It got to be in us. So listen, y'all. When we're talking about the garden, when we're talking about our lives, it's important that we self-reflect. Self-reflect. Especially if you know, 25 plus, 30 plus. I had fun. Y'all that know me in my teenage years, I had fun. Y'all not know me in my, y'all. Bro, I be talking too fast, Will. Huh? Say something to the people.
Yeah, you see it, man. You better soak these nuggets up.
Soak them up, y'all. Now listen. But if y'all know me in my teenage years, y'all know I was wild. Y'all know me in my 20s, y'all know I was wild, right? So I had to mature. You hear me? I had to mature, self-reflect, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I had to understand that, like, the garden, my life, it's my life. And at the end of the day, like, I guess I can be purposeful just because I want to make some money, or I could be purposeful because I'm trying to cultivate a change within my generation and the younger generation. And it's not ironic that after all I went through, that's literally what I'm doing in my personal life and in my purpose. And I'm grateful. You hear me? Like, humbly saying that. I'm grateful. You hear me? And can't nothing stop me, man. You hear me? Like, the legacy is already here. The change is already happening. And it's all by God's grace and mercy. You feel me? So when we talk about the garden, we're talking about our life. And I just want to talk about the patterns of the traditions that we was brought up in. You feel what I'm saying? It's up to us to really understand our value and then break them. Because they're not prosperous. They could be prosperous. Now, I ain't gonna lie though, they could be prosperous. They're just not gonna be prosperous in purpose. You feel me? So tame your garden. Tame your life. Work on your life. Work on your garden, baby. So you can grow some more beautiful roses. You hear me? Beautiful roses. So I want to tap on that. I want to tap on the garden for a little bit. Because honestly, while we're moving on, God has allowed me to, God has not allowed me, because God just dropped some new seeds in my garden that's really helping me grow. Y'all gonna meet my people soon, you know what I'm saying? And that's a blessing, because sometimes when you're going through in life, when you're trying to figure things out, you know what I'm saying, but you're confident and you just being steadfast and patient, God will literally, like, put somebody in your life that will inspire and encourage change. But here's the thing though. You may be thinking like, oh, it's just for me. But anytime God does something like that, it's always vice versa. So the same seed that God dropped in my garden, right, to help me change, to help me grow, to help me be more confident, to be more passionate, you hear me? To be more purposeful. It's the same seed he may drop in that other person's garden. We talking about being aligned in purpose here, y'all. It's a blessing. So let's move on. Let's move on, because we moving on up. You don't know that song, huh, Will?
Oh, you know it.
Peace to fun, applications. So like I said, y'all, if y'all just tuned in to the shorts on the last clip, man, we also talked about seeds, right? And I was talking about, seeds could be people, it could be trauma, and it could be the choices we make. But whatever it is, it's a seed we planted and it's going to grow, right? So I want to touch on that too for a minute. And I want to talk about why is it important to have like good seeds? Because if you guys tuned in, I was talking about good seeds and bad seeds, right? But on episode 2, I just want to talk about good seeds. And let me tell you why, for me, I feel like it's important to have good seeds in our life, right? Even if we have bad seeds, even if we come across bad seeds, I don't think it's a bad thing. You hear me? But I just want to like focus on the good seeds, because that's what we need in our life right now. And we have to be able to like have the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We have to be aware of a good seed and a bad seed. We gotta have that discernment. You hear me? So why is it important to have good seeds in our life, right? I do believe the saying or the quote. I don't know who wrote it, you know what I'm saying? But it's a quote I've been hearing all my life. And the quote is that birds of a feather flock together, right? And that is so true. It's true. It's true. But I like to challenge things. I like to be a debate, because birds of a feather flock together. I mean, I can flock with a red robin, but I'm a blue jay. But I'm still a bird though. You know what I'm saying? So you could be a person that, you know what I'm saying, that really trying to do something with their life, and you could be hanging out with a game maker. But you with them. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Guilty by association. And that was a good analogy, Father. You hear what I'm saying though? Real talk. So I want to talk about that. Listen, having knowledge of self, when we know who we are, right? Having knowledge of self, like, it will literally show you who you are. Right? Having knowledge of yourself will show you who you are. But guess what? When you also have knowledge of yourself, it will show you who you are not. So, when I was talking about seeds, right? People, traumas, and choices. When you know who you are, and then when you know who you are not, oh, you got a choice to make. And let me expound on that a little bit. Listen, y'all. Many people follow to be like recognized. You know what I'm saying? Like, many people follow trends to be recognized. I swear to goodness. And y'all know that's true. Y'all know it's true. We planting seeds here. We got to keep this stuff authentic, raw and uncut. You hear me? Many people follow. I don't care if it's a religion, a trend, a fashion trend, whatever it is. Many people follow to be recognized. Right? But that's not even the cold part. The cold part is that many people also lead by their insecurities. People follow to be recognized. And people lead because of their insecurities. That, to me, is a self-identity crisis. And the only way I can be so passionate about that, because that was me. Yeah, I followed because I wanted to be recognized. And then I also led because of my insecurities. And I recognize that within myself, but I see it now more than ever. Right? And for me, I get it. You still prospering, right? That's what's up. But at the end of the day, like, I be feeling like, and correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Y'all hit me in the comments, you know what I'm saying? Y'all tap into my YouTube page. Correct me if I'm wrong. everybody know right from wrong. Right? Everybody has a conscience of like, if I do this, it's wrong. If I do this, it's right. But a lot of people don't care. Epic, right? I'm me, man. That's pride though, right? I was there, bro. I know this. Right? And I know I'm not the only one. People don't care. Because people want to do what they want to do. They want to give themselves let's get it, baby. Let's get it. See, people want to give themselves that evaluation like, okay, it's okay because I'm doing it. It's me. 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 But what they fail to realize that even though it is you, though, you really failing yourself. There's no self-accountability. You're literally self-neglecting yourself. Because we all need somebody. You hear me? Trust me when I say that. Because prideful man I am. God working with me. You know, he's helping me. But a prideful man I am. And I have to realize that even though the gifts God has given me, the wisdom, the understanding that I got by reading his word and the relationship, all that great stuff, right? It's no use if I'm literally not like containing it in my walk. When I'm really not walking in it. I can have wisdom and understanding. I can know a lot of things a lot of people don't know. But what's the use to it if I'm continually self-neglecting myself? And so the seed of that is this. Here's the seed of that, y'all. Because I want to make this point. Like it's important to not focus on longevity while being in a dysfunction environment. Right? Like we can't be focused on trying to be successful, or we can't be focused on trying to live out our vision and our goal if what we're doing is in a dysfunction atmosphere. Because when we do things like that, we're literally doing this to be accepted. Right? And it's like, for me, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, you can't expect people to accept you if you don't love yourself and accept yourself for you. You playing yourself. Huh? We ain't doing that no more, bro. No. I don't want no invitations to nothing that's not on my level. Or, like they used to say, like they're saying nowadays, Will, I don't want nothing, no invitation to nothing that's not on my vibration. And they also say this, period. You hear me? Real talk. And I have to understand that for myself. Like, everybody's unique, right? But a lot of people are afraid of being who they are, which makes them become a follower to be accepted, which then, in a long-term effect, will cause them to lead by their insecurities, meaning that the seeds that they're gaining throughout that time period will grow a stanky flower. And I ain't never smelled no stinky rose. Hey, Will, you smelled a rose that stank before?
Never.
Nah, but they out there though, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They got these new colognes and perfumes, you know. I mean, I was a stanky rose once upon a time in my life, so I ain't knocking it. I'm just being honest, y'all. Y'all gotta hear me out. It's facts, and y'all know it's facts. I also had to understand, like, when it comes to like understanding, having good seeds in my life, is that because everything is self-reflecting, right? Like, and everything you have to be accountable for. Like, if you're an adult, you have to be accountable for everything that you do, right? Choices, decisions, all that great stuff. Me and my bro Will was having a conversation about that earlier. But we have to be accountable for everything as an adult, right? And in order to be accountable, you really have to like strip your pride. You have to self-reflect. You know what I'm saying? To be able to burst something that's gonna last, you know? And so I also feel that like we have to be willing to face our insecurities. You know what I'm saying? We have to be willing. You have to be willing to face your insecurities. Like, and let me just break that down, right? Let me, you know, I said, you know what I'm saying, transparency is needed for those that need love. You hear me? And I'm talking about we have to be willing to face our insecurities. My insecurity is that I'm missing like 3 teeth, and they in the front. So I was like, I don't want to get on the camera because I'm missing teeth. I'm gonna get that fixed though, like, you know, by November. It's 5 bands, but it's whatever. Huh? Transparency, right? And so I never want to get on the camera like, so I'm like, bro, I'm missing teeth, bro. Like, it's like, well, I was like, how am I gonna curve somebody when I'm missing teeth? You know what I'm saying? Insecurities. But I have to face them. We have to be willing to face our insecurities, right? To gather strength for our reflection, we have to face our insecurities to gather strength for our reflection. Like, you have to face your insecurities to strengthen yourself, first and foremost. Right? Y'all hear me? Face your insecurities to strengthen yourself, right? But not only for that, though. We have to face our insecurities, not only to strengthen ourselves, but we have to do that to birth stability and purpose, to inspire and cultivate change. And Will, when God gave me that, I said, okay, God, I see what you're doing in my life, right? Because we have to be willing to face our insecurities, to gather strength for our reflection, to birth stability. Stability. Like, I'm stable now. Last year, 2 years ago, I was sleeping in my car. I'm married. My niece is living with me, right? Facial insecurities to birth stability and purpose, to inspire and cultivate change. So, Will, what you talking about, bro? What you talking about with these seeds, man? Like, bro, you talking about these seeds, man? You talking about people, trauma, decision making, bro? What you talking about? Listen, this is what I'm talking about. Welcome to the garden, you all. In order to grow, you have to self-reflect. You have to self-reflect. I want y'all to stop self-neglecting yourselves because of trauma, because of fear, because of insecurities, because you're afraid of what people are going to say. Man, forget that, bro. Like, if God is for you, who could be against you? You hear me? Especially when you want to move in purpose. Bro, we don't care anymore, bro. Like, if you're not moving in purpose, if you just have something to say, then that's what's up. I mean, you can't knock nobody's opinion. You know what I'm saying? Let them talk. But are they moving in purpose? You know what I'm saying? Is their goal is to aspire change in a generation? And if not, then you gotta brush it off. What Jay-Z say? You gotta get that dirt off your shoulder. But for me, I don't know how no Jay can get on my shoulder because I'm 6'7", unless I'm on a mountain. You hear me? And I did kind of sound arrogant, but I'm just saying, I'm serious. Like, we don't care. We don't care about what people say. We don't care about the opinions of other half. Excuse me, y'all. We don't care about what other people got to say and their opinions if they're not operating on the level we're trying to operate at or where we at right now. We don't care, bro. Like, our goal is to cultivate change. And that's by love, understanding, and being transparent. So if you're not with that, you're not with it. It's lit. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to be affected by nothing. Like, even if a bad seed comes to my garden, I'm gonna accept the seed. You know what I'm saying? It's good. But you're going to witness what's happening too. You're going to witness. You got to be a witness to what God is doing. And it's all love because I understand. You hear me? It's the garden. You have to grow. If you don't grow, you die. And you, not physically, you could die emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Bro, I did that, bro. I was there for the past 2 years, you hear me? I'm not going back. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I'm not going back, bro. Real talk. And so, I just wanted to talk about that. I want to talk about the good seed portion because I feel like in order to plant good seeds, you really have to have self-awareness of who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, then you're just going to accept anybody and anything. And you're going to accept your past, what you've been through to make excuses. Like I did. I did that. I did it all. I'm speaking from experience and being transparent. But it's not worth it because you have purpose. So let's walk in it, baby. Let's plant more seeds. Let's walk in it. The last thing I want to touch about is growth. We talked about the garden, our life. We talked about seeds, people, trauma. decision making. We talked about that, right? Now I want to talk about growth, right? Growth is necessary for us all. It truly is. And growth doesn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? If you understand how long it takes to grow a plant, a vegetable, a fruit, a flower, a farmer don't plant seeds and then their crops grow the following day. When it comes to growth, there's steps to it. Y'all hear me? There's steps to growth. Oh, it's steps to growth. Literally. I wasn't 6'7" when I came out of my mama's womb, you know what I'm saying? But I was tall though. It's a baby picture, actually. I think I'm gonna post a baby picture of me and my twin sister. We were sitting on my dad's lap. And we were, we twins, I think he was like 2 years old, 3 years old, right? No, I don't think. He was probably like 2 years old. But I promise y'all, I was like a foot taller than my sister. But what I'm trying to say is that there's no such thing as rapid growth. There's stages in growth, right? You can be stagnant. You can grow from level 1 and level 2 and then be stagnant at level 2. And then over time, you may go to level 3, etc., right? And so growth is necessary, right? For me, honestly, through disappointments, you know what I'm saying? Through grief, through trials and tribulations, through shame, through self-neglection, right? I found that I hindered myself from growth. And the reason behind me hindering myself from growth is because I was not accepting my purpose. I became so accustomed to allowing people to use me how they wanted to use me. And I'm not saying that it's something I did not want to do, because I did want to do it, right? But I wasn't fully aware of my purpose and what I should be really working on within myself. And so when I went through that hardship of losing my grandmother and then, losing a family member on the way, I just kind of gave up on everything. I really didn't care about nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I was depleted. And so, not being stagnant anymore, you know what I'm saying, through God's grace and mercy, I was able to really find myself and really understand like who I am. And I'm okay with it now. Like I'm okay with saying no. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with not doing things that I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like any decision that I make, any decision that I make is because I wanted to do it. Y'all, any decision. Can't no liquor, can't nothing, like I ain't blaming it on nothing. Y'all hear me? Anything that I decide to do is because I want to do it intentionally. You feel me? And then not only that though, me understanding that being accountable is important, I'm gonna accept any consequence or any blessing that comes with it. Straight up. I mean, straight up. Straight up. And so when it comes to growth, right, you have to decide, right? You have to make a choice when it comes to growth. Do I want to grow? Because growth can be hard. I told y'all my insecurities was I had teeth missing in the front of my mouth. So I didn't want to be on the camera. Bro, me like, man, F it. I don't care. I got missing. Yeah. F it, bro. I'm walking in purpose. You hear me? But I am getting my teeth fixed though. But I'm just saying, because that's growth too. You can't just be walking around looking like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. But that was my insecurities for a long time. So y'all know how I'm coming. So what we decide to ignore creates habits, right? Like whatever problem that we may be dealing with that nobody may know. And trust me, because I'm very discreet. People don't know my business, bro. Like 2 people do. Maybe 3, my wife and my 2 other brothers. You feel me? Like, I don't tell everybody my business. I'm discreet. But let me just break this down for y'all. What we decide to ignore, right, creates habits of dysfunction, which ultimately creates identity crisis, which leads to infertile soil, damaging a beautiful garden. Will, what you trying to say? What you trying to say, Will? Whatever we ignore within ourselves every time we decide to self-neglect, we create these horrible habits. And it's really the mind. We create this thing in our mind that will think that whatever we doing is right. But it's wrong. It's wrong. So then, once we ignore the habits, once we ignore what we're doing, the choices we're making, right? And then we be like, I don't care, right? That then births a whole identity crisis. So then we become something that we're not. And the cool part about it is like, it's unintentional. Because really, you just don't know who you are. But then that still puts more pressure on you not knowing who you are. So then you fall into a more deeper level of being in an identity crisis. And I said this on my last podcast, is that on episode 1, is that when you do not know who you are, right? When you do not know who you are, or when you self-neglect, right, you cannot grow. There's no growth in self-neglection. I'm telling you, I know this. I've been there. Right? We can be prideful. We can self-neglect all we want to, but we're going to be there. And even if you're prospering with money and life in general, right, you're not going to prosper as a human. Right? You're going to stay at that level, that same prideful, brokenness level, right? You're not going to be able to see the fruit of who God really wants you to be. Right? And then every seed that comes into your garden is going to spoil. Because you don't have good soil for people to grow from. That's important. Accountability is important. Self-awareness is important. Self-improvement is important. So when we decide not to do those things, right, we just put ourselves in this place of really not knowing who we are, which creates a character in our mind, which ultimately kills our garden. So, Will, what was episode 2 about? Because you was just talking, brother. You were just talking, Will. Episode 2 is really about understanding that self-awareness, self-reflection is important. Self-improvement is important. Now, does it happen overnight? No. Listen. Man, I'm still going through it like, wait, you hear me? It's not easy, but I gained this courage I ain't never had in my life. I'm more confident than I ever been. And I'm not worried about what no opinions what nobody got to say. So I understand my purpose. My goal is to cultivate change through self-reflection. And I am the example of this garden. So again, thank y'all for tuning in episode 2, man, of what do you have in your garden? Where love is everything. Understanding is a must. And transparency is needed for those that need love. Love y'all, man. Thank you.